I want to tell you about my spleen's journey today. I was born from a beautiful lady named Bonita, and she was young when she had us, but knew enough to know she didn't want us eating white sugar, chips, crackers, junk food, processed food. She had more of a macrobiotic philosophy with fish, chicken, and beef added in. She loved brown rice. She used to make a good bok choy soup. She loved vegetable soups, carrot soup, dairy-free soups. She used to make a dairy-free mushroom soup. These were her specialties. And she always made me a carrot cake for my birthday, sweetened with honey. When I was 10, my family started to have major financial problems and there was no food in the house. My aunt owned a Cinnarroll restaurant and would give us boxes and boxes of free Cinnarrolls, frozen Cinnarrolls, and I would eat these in place of meals. And I would eat them cold. And I think that the spleen chi-induced lipedema that I am healing initially was a Cinnarroll poisoning because cinnamon rolls are very dampness promoting. And I ate a lot of free Cinnarrolls in place of meals. When I was 11, my family had to rely on food banks to eat. So the food was all dried, processed, non-perishable, and hard on the spleen. And by 12 years old, I had bright red stretch marks all over my body, which is a sign of spleen chi deficiency. Before this, I was one of the best athletes on my baseball team, and I was working towards becoming a lifeguard in my swim lessons. I was very energetic, athletic, and strong. Once the spleen chi deficiency kicked in, I was sleeping sometimes 16 hours per day, and I felt very sad and tired, and my body swelled up, and people started teasing me for being fat for the very first time in my life. So, naturally, by 15, I was dabbling in veganism and fasting to try to get the flabby water retention to leave my body. And I was losing muscles, and my body was losing its tone and definition because a healthy spleen keeps us toned and strong. So I was vegan then for about 10 years, and I lost about 10 pounds or so, and people considered me skinny again. But I was skinny fat, as they say. I was still weak. Even though I looked smaller, I was still weak and I was lacking in muscles. So the vegan diet did help me drain some dampness, but I ate a lot of avocados, smoothies, mangoes. I ate a lot of sun-dried tomatoes, which are all dampness promoting. And I also loved fried tofu with my friends. So I still didn't have a full picture of what I needed to do to heal my spleen and heal my body, and I was starting to lose my mind from nutrient deficiencies caused by my vegan diet. In 2008, I read Jordan Rubin's book, Patient Heal Thyself, where he documented his journey of healing Crohn's using bone broth and animal foods, which he had learned about from Weston Price. So I started to read Weston Price's book. This is my first year quitting veganism, and here I am reading Weston Price's book. And so I figured the best bet was to drink 2 liters of raw milk per day, lots of eggs, lots of butter, pork, beef, and game meat. I have to say, my mental health improved immeasurably, but my body ballooned to 287 pounds. I gained 140 pounds. But I have to note that I was also in a toxic relationship and surrounded by people who secretly hated me. I did make bone broth a lot, but I see now that the high fat recommended by Mary Ennigang Sally Fallon and the raw milk drank cold wasn't right for my spleen. Once I left that toxic relationship, I lost about 70 pounds again by working out every day, remineralizing, and eating simple meals of animal foods and fermented vegetables. So now let's fast forward to 2021 when I lived in Albania with the love of my life. We ate a lot of fish soup there, which was healing, but our circadian rhythm was off and we were eating too heavy too late at night, which is hard on the spleen. And we ate fried calamari, fried potatoes, cold sparkling water with our meals, and ice cream, which is all hard on the spleen. It certainly was fun, but I ended up with symptoms of spleen yang deficiency, bloating, watery stools, and I was again very tired. At the end of 2021, we moved to Mexico and continued with some of the bad habits we had, like drinking cold drinks on hot days and eating icy treats. Mexico has awesome icy treats. But then at the end of 2022, I learned about spleen chi deficiency from Lily Choi, and this was a light bulb moment for me, as I'm sure it is for so many of you when you find out about spleen chi deficiency. So I'm so grateful for the work of Lily Choi and all of the effort and energy she puts in educating the public. So then I visited a TCM doctor here in Oaxaca in 2023, Dr. Fernanda, and she confirmed that I had spleen chi deficiency and that traditional Chinese medicine views lipedema as dampness of the connective tissue. And she also told me to get to sleep by 11 p.m. to lower cortisol, which is also an issue with lipedema. So now we are 3 years into spleen care, and a lot has changed for me. A lot has improved. I have control over my bowels again. I'm not bloated every day, even from just drinking water. I used to be bloated, so there's control over my bowels, the bloating. I can sing again. I couldn't sing for months because my spleen had become so weak. The sound associated with the spleen is singing, and when you have a strong spleen, you will have a strong voice. So my voice is strong again. I sing every day. I'm even singing songs that I haven't sang in 13 years or 10 years. I'm singing songs that were just kind of left behind. It's like my singing voice has become so much more productive that I'm singing all the lost, lonely songs of my past. And I have a lot more enthusiasm for life. I have a lot more energy. I wake up with an appetite, whereas previously I had a very weak appetite. My lips are less pale. I have less swelling on my legs. I don't feel that tight, painful feeling anymore on my legs unless I eat something dampness promoting. And I had a vision of my vegan self meeting my raw milk drinking, butter binging self, and they each had a piece of the puzzle, but could not complete the puzzle. There needed to be a third Kaylee. And, the vegan Kaylee in the vision, the vegan Kaylee was surprised to see the Weston Price Kaylee and how bloated up she was. But both Kayleys were missing something from the puzzle. The vegan Kaylee was skinny and high energy, but she was anxious and paranoid. The raw milk Kaylee was very resilient, very mentally healthy and strong, but her body was heavy to carry around. So now there's a third Kaylee who has arrived with a very important piece to the puzzle, the knowledge that I learned from Chinese medicine and the nuances that they have added to the food conversation, this amazing 3,000 plus year system of healing. And for the first time in a long time, I feel so much hope for my health, for my body. I feel so much hope about healing lipedema, and I feel that everything will be okay.